now begin our journey of 2.5 miles around. Our first stop in the Portage and Park at Susquehanna Station. The gray building we're passing by was Henry Ford's soybean laboratory. It's here he perfected a paint that was used on his Model 8 cars that had a soybean oil base. The farmhouse that we will be approaching was the birthplace of Henry Ford. He was born here in July of 1863. The farm was located just outside of Detroit. If you ever have a chance, you can stop by the farmhouse, go inside and see what life was like for Henry growing up here as a young boy. Now if you look to your left, just past the farmhouse, you can look down on our main street. Here you'll find the Ford Motor Company, Mary Cohen's Millinery, where you can go in and try on the hats for the ladies. The Heinz home, our 1913 Herschel's Filming Carousel, the Wright Cycle Shop, Wright Home, and our frozen custard ice cream stand. We're now passing by Menlo Park. This was Thomas Edison's laboratory in New Jersey. He's credited with over 1,000 patents in this facility. If you ever have a chance, you can stop by, stroll the grounds, and even go inside. You can check out his incandescent light bulb. American Dictionary that took over 25 years to complete. Or you can stroll down Maple Lane to see all the homes we have here in the village. You can even go into our Susquehanna plantation, which came from Tidewater, Maryland, originally comprised of over 700 acres, and in 1832 their principal crops were corn, wheat, and tobacco. You can even go to the end of Maple Lane to see our windmill and colonial Daggett farmhouse. Now, as we come into Susquehanna, we can say hi to Ginger, station master here. And I ask that everybody please remain seated until we come to a complete stop. Once the whistle sounds, it will be safe to exit on the left-hand side. Please wait for that whistle. Okay, we're still moving. We'll tell you about a Ginger here at Susquehanna. We now begin our journey around the village to the north side at Smith Creek. The red home we're approaching, not bigger than a one-car garage, in the 1700s, was home to Mr. and Mrs. Plimpton and their 7 children. Back then it was easier to heat a one-room dwelling rather than multiple rooms. We're now coming up to our Cape Cod windmill. This was built in 1649 to grind corn and wheat into flour. It is the last known original structure of its kind left in the United States. If you ever want to try colonial living, our Daggett farmhouse next to it predates the American Revolutionary War. If you ever have a chance, you can stop by, go inside. They'll be happy to tell you what life was like back in our colonial days. You can even ask them what they are growing in the garden that will be cleaned, cooked, and eaten here on the farm. The locomotive pulling us this morning is our 1897 Baldwin. This was built in Philadelphia at the Baldwin Iron Works for the Detroit and Lyman Northern Railway. Later it became part of Henry Ford's Detroit, Toledo, and Ironton Railroad. This ran from Dearborn south through Ohio to Ironton near Cincinnati. This engine in particular was one of Henry Ford's favorites that he, as the engineer, would drive from the Detroit area south into Ohio, pulling boxcars. Now, as we enter into our major reserve, this will kind of give you an idea of what it was like to travel across the United States in the early days of the railroad. Before that time, our major means of transportation were by steamboat, wagon, horseback, and Milwaukee. With the advent of the railroad, the time spent traveling businesses was dramatically reduced. As then if you were to travel between Detroit and Chicago by stagecoach, you would take on the idea of the railroad traveling the same distance. It can now be done in hours. What our engineer is showing right now is venting the steam out of the steam drum to clear the remains of any sediment that might be forming. We're now coming into Walnut Grove. This is our activities field during the season. During the weekends of the summer, it's also home to our historic baseball league. Our two teams, the La-Di-Das and Nationals, play against other teams from across the Great Lakes area and Ontario. They play by the baseball rules of 1867, and back then gloves had not been invented yet. If the ball was hitting your direction, you had to try and catch it barehanded. From here you can also see the backsides of Cotswell Cottage, the Giddings, Webster, and Frost homes. We're now coming up to our Henry Ford Academy. To attend, you must be a resident of Wayne County. It is done on the lottery system, so if your name is drawn, you're allowed to attend grades 9 through 12 for free. Seniors finish out their final year. We'll now be going by our Swanee Lagoon. This is only used for flood control here in the village. As we climb the hill towards Smith Creek, if you look to your left, just past the stone building, you will see the Martha Mary Chapel. This was built by Mr. Ford in honor of his mother and mother-in-law. Throughout the season, we host a lot of weddings in the chapel. Next to it is our Taste of History, which offers a wide variety of food, served cafeteria style. Or you go to our newest edition, Stand 44, on Washington and State Streets. They will be serving hot food there until 2 p.m. this afternoon. Now as we come into Smith Creek, this would be your exit point to go 2 blocks over to Main Street into Carousel. Down the hill, you can go to the Model T rides. Down Junction, you can go into the Roundhouse or to Liberty Craft Works to watch our artisans creating glass, pottery, printing, weaving, and the cardigan wool to be made here thread. As we come into Smith Creek, we can say hi to Station Master Jeff and Gordon here. Again, I ask everybody to please remain in your seats until we come to a complete stop. Once the whistle blows, it will be safe to exit on the left-hand side. Please wait for that whistle. We're now coming up to our Detroit, Toledo, Milwaukee Roundhouse. This was built in Marshall, Michigan in 1884 to service and maintain steam locomotives. We carry on that tradition today as a working roundhouse with the 3 coal-fired locomotives and diesel electric that we operate here during the season. The roundhouse is now open every day for you to go inside